In the nervous system, you saw that electrical potentials flowed in one direction because the channels responsible for fluxing charged ions could only stay open for an incredibly short amount of time before being inactivated, preventing a backflow of electricity. In other words, the increase in channel resistance decreased backward flowing electrical current. In the cardiovascular system, a similar implementation of Ohm's law prevents backflow of blood as it travels away from the pumping heart. This is accomplished by several forms of vascular resistance to ultimately maintain a constant flow, liquid current, despite changes in pressure throughout the systemic circulation. As arterial blood vessels become more distal from the heart, they decrease in diameter but become more numerous. Therefore, the resistance of these blood vessels increases substantially from their origins at the gigantic aorta, through the smaller arteries and still smaller arterioles, until they have shrunk to the size of capillaries. At that point, these blood vessels have maximized their resistance and cross-sectional surface area for efficient nutrient and gas transfer to needy cells and tissues. By increasing the number of blood vessels in this sequence, the pressure needed to pump the blood decreases, ensuring that they aren't blown out in the process of maintaining the rate of total blood flow through the body. In other words, I, current, which is also known as F, or flow, when it involves liquids, is equal to P, pressure, just like electrical voltage, over R, resistance. Up until the capillaries, the flow of blood was pushed along by the contractions of the heart, which you can observe if you ever cut your finger. While there are no major blood vessels in your finger, it does have capillaries that pool drops of blood in time with your heartbeat, which is why you are told to hold it above your heart to reduce the bleeding. Drip, drip, drip. After the capillaries perform their necessary, life-sustaining exchange, the beat of the heart's muscular contractions have little more effect on venous return than to push it along due to back pressure as it collects. When you suddenly sit up or stand from a prone position, you may have felt the dizzying effects of a drop in the brain's blood pressure. So why is it that we don't pass out every time we make a sudden move against gravity? The answer is the same in the venous return as it was in the heart's chambers: valves. Once again, Ohm's law explains how valves save us from drowning in our own spent blood. They offer temporary, timely, and total resistance to backwards blood flow. As pressure, either from muscle contraction in the heart or backflow in the veins, builds behind a valve, it opens to allow blood to move forward. As that pressure dissipates and is counteracted by building pressure in front of the valve, it closes shut, essentially infinite resistance, decreasing flow, current, to nothing in the backwards direction. Therefore, even with very little positive pressure, the deoxygenated blood maintains its progress back to the heart without risking the person's consciousness. As you can probably tell, Ohm's law is pretty useful in understanding both electrical current and blood flow, but that's not the last you'll hear of it.